Good evening, Skeeta. Cornbread. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Lesson 12. There you go. It was at that moment the Walmart manager toyed with the idea of opening up another lane. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, it's been a gloomy day today. I just have not had any energy today. Kathy hasn't felt good today either. Um, I didn't even make breakfast this morning. I warmed up a couple of cinnamon rolls for her and me, and that was making breakfast this morning. I had a bunch of roast beef, sliced roast beef. Um, I took that all, shredded it all up, or sliced it all up into thin strips. Um, I sliced a thin, I thin sliced an onion, and I fried that in a pan. Then I threw the roast beef in with it, seasoned it with garlic powder and onion powder and some salt and pepper. And we had steak sandwiches for lunch. Glitchy gloom, that's right. And I made chicken noodle soup for dinner. Wisconsin Greg, how you doing? I didn't know if I was going to make it here or not. I had a case of. Yeah, indeed they all matches and they don't have no dental record. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Other than that, I did the dishes up. Um, Dinner's all put away. I, I'm ready for nighty night, but if I go to bed at 9 o'clock, I'll get up at midnight and say, damn, I still got 5 hours left at least. You know, it just, it's been that way the last few nights. I wake up like 11:30 and think I've slept, like it's 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And then I look at the clock and it's 11:30. You just rub your head and just wonder what the hell you're going to do all night. Not sleep, I can tell you that. Thought about just going out, at midnight and doing a nice little midnight jog, run around 10, 12, 15 blocks or so, then come back and, you know, maybe I'll be tuckered out enough to go to take a nappy then. Turn on the coffee pot, yeah. I know. Yeah, delivered packages. Yeah. Christmas Eve, I got to go to bed early, around noonish, so I can get up and start delivering packages. Ah, that's the thing. If I wake up like at 12:30, 1 o'clock, I stay up to around 3:30 at least, and then try to go back to bed. I know I cannot go back to bed at 1 o'clock. I just cannot do it. I got to get myself tired enough to go back to sleep again. That's why I recorded a bunch of episodes of The View. You know, that way I can watch some of that stuff, and that'll make me drift off to sleep real quick. And it's also good for, in case you have, a sick stomach or something like that. It'll help you get rid of that stuff. Yeah, I know I need to change the clock. I went in and took a nappy around 1:30, I think it was. And the girl, she come in and ran right up me and right on top of my chest, put her head underneath my chin and laid there. And she had to get a nappy in too. I looked at her and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "This is like your 15th nappy today." That's what they should do. Pass out MREs. If it's good enough for the soldiers, it should be good enough for them. I guess 9 other states has joined the you can't buy junk food thing with SNAP. I don't know who all the states are that are doing it right now. I don't think Michigan's one of them because, we're a blue state. That's right. Well, maybe you had to tell Tyrus and have him tell the president. It seems like he's got the president's ear. Remember when he was on Gutfeld? Trump? Tyrus said, "Well, why can't you take them drug runners and make them terrorists and go after them that way?" Well, that's a good idea. Huh. Yeah. I've never took Melantona. Being I've had this cough since about since the last week of July. I've had this unnatural cough. If I'm coughing, before I go to bed, I'll take a cap full of that at nighttime, Corticedin. This is not a commercial for them. I take the nighttime Corticedin. In fact, I got a bottle of it right here, brand new bottle. Maximum Straight, nighttime cold and flu, sore throat, runny nose, sneezing, body aches, pains, fever, cough, and headache. I'll take a cap full of that, or a cup full, whatever the dosage is on it. And like in 15, 20 minutes, I feel a lot better in the chest, and it actually will relax me and let me sleep. The nights I don't take it, I take a muscle relaxer, and that lets me sleep. It's hard to sleep when you're in pain all the time. And I've been having to wear both my braces. It's just getting the weather is just really playing a hard part on it. Yeah, change it to Spanish. That's right. I never did understand that. Why did they have to change it to press 1 for English? So if you don't press 1, is it going to automatically speak Spanish? Huh. It's a better idea. Thank you for calling. if you cannot understand English, please go back to the damn country you came from and learn to speak English before you come here. Thank you for your consideration. What medicine don't work? This corticedin? Yeah, it helps with my cough. It helps me relax at night, helps me stop so I can actually get a night's sleep. 3 or 4 hours at least, I mean, but you cough a lot now after you've had the COVID there, Dale? Yeah, then you gotta get Aladdin. There you go. Yeah. I don't know why I gotta press one finger, and then all of a sudden you get somebody Aladdin there. Yeah. I said, do you cough more now than you did before you had the Hillary? Doesn't your wife know she shouldn't be interrupting us? Right. Have they given you anything for the cough? Now I had the corticedin in the pills for the daytime. Um, and that's for like a runny nose and sneezing and coughing and stuff like that. Get it? That's right. Need to send her to school for wives. You sent Tenny and it sure helped her with them. There you go. That's right. You tell him, cornbread. No. Kathy went to the $1.95 store today. Buck and a quarter, buck and a half, $1.75, $1.95, $2.25 store. And she bought, you can see right there, she bought a 4-pack of Faygo orange cream soda. And she says it's really good. I'm going to have to try a can of that. Huh. There's a difference between Faygo Orange Pop and the cream soda. I like cream soda. I like the clear cream soda, red cream soda, and orange cream soda. Shasta.
All right, I'll just talk to you tomorrow then, Rita.
Okay, no problem, dear.
All right.
I'm just looking to make sure she's done.
I like black cherry too there, Junkyard.
But yeah,
Night,
we
Rita.
need to go over there to that little restaurant.
That's a neighbor down the street. She stopped here today. Kathy makes Buckeyes, and Rita loves Buckeyes, so she has Kathy make them for her. She wants 3 dozen. Well, I did too, but these Buckeye candies. Buckeye nuts is in Ohio, yeah. We like the candies. We don't like the Buckeye nuts or the football players. Well, that Jerome Moore, he really got himself in a pickle, didn't he? He got arrested after assaulting a former coach staffer. I wonder if he went over and assaulted the one he got pregnant. There you go. I've actually had the Delcium, and I didn't like it. I like the corticidin a lot better. I think it works better. Yeah, damn right you lost a damn good paying job. And the problem of it is now Michigan's screwed. Okay. Unless they're willing to pay, and I mean pay, if they're willing to buy out a coach's contract and get a good coach, because every coach out there so far has probably already signed a new contract with another college, or with their college, or with a professional team. Now, you might have a few that haven't, but they're probably not that great a coach. Per se, that's why they haven't signed.
We're going to get off here, and then I'll give you a holler tomorrow when I get those done. I'll just let you know.
I'll do it for a lot less too.
Right.
Well, there's still some good coach. You're right. There's still some good coaches out there.
Okay.
All right.
But
She said.
Yeah.
Just sometime next week.
Okay. That woman she's talking to, or was talking to, just give us a nice refrigerator.
Well, it's just like the one I have, but not 30 years old.
Yeah, it's just like the one we got, but it's not 30 years old.
Free.
It's free. And so we'll take the one here, it's in the house, and put it in the garage, take the one in the garage and give it out.
It's sort of like the stove. I was talking about how I I need a new stove.
Yeah.
That it doesn't bake. You have to turn it up a little, and all of a sudden she's like, well, Kathy, I got one you can have free.
Yeah.
Well, then today, Rita was sitting here and she said, yeah, Eddie went and bought me a brand new refrigerator. And I said, oh, really? She said, yeah, when that Black Friday sale. And I said, oh. And she talked about the one for regular $7.99 or something like that. And I said, yeah, I seen that. Me and Keith were talking about that. And I said, but I didn't. I didn't get it.
I offered to go buy it, and you said no.
She said, well, I said, yeah, that one's old. I've had that for 30 years. And she says, well, Kathy, and I was going to call the resale. You could have the one that I just took out. And I said, all right. She says, it's just like that, and showed me a picture of it.
Huh.
Identical to mine. I said, oh, yeah. I said, are you sure you want something for it? And she said, no, you can have it.
Hmm.
So that worked out free too.
Yeah. So we'll take this refrigerator freezer, and put it out in the garage, and take the other garage refrigerator. I really don't want to do nothing with that because it's actually a nice refrigerator out there. It's just 50 years old. It's a 1970 model, and it works better than this one, I think. It just probably costs more to run.
So that worked out perfect too.
Yeah.
Both free.
Yeah. That does. Money's not, but I'm sure they're probably, if they do get one of them good coaches that's already signed, it's probably going to cost them, $10-15 million to get them out of the contract, plus whatever they're going to give them. Hi, Teddy Shoes, you oh snuggle bunny, you. Hi, Tammy. Kathy says hi, Tammy.
Hi, Jenny. I'm sorry how he's acting.
Oh shit. Sorry how I'm at.
Hey,
Tammy.
watch your mouth.
Tammy right now is in all her glory.
Not really.
Oh yeah.
She's probably poop,
No,
getting ill, and
no, because I spend almost every morning in bed with Tammy.
oh, that's why you had me and your phone the way you did.
Right. Don't I,
Oh,
Tammy?
now the truth comes out. You got Jenny's number programmed in as Honey Babe.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're probably right there, Amish. It probably does use less electricity out there than this one does. It just, like I said, it's a 70s model. And it works perfect. I don't really want to get rid of it. I might just, I don't know.
no, you ain't plugging them all in. Like
No,
that.
I'll just unplug it and leave it in the garage and get rid of the big freezer that's out there and the ice maker so I have room. So I really don't want to get rid of something, it's nice, it works. All the shelves are in it. I bought it from the school, Adrian's school. I get $30 for it. That's been 10 years ago. I think the best thing they had to do is go back and, see if they can get Harbaugh again. Or if they can find Dr. Frankenstein, go grab him. Have him dig up Bo Schembechler and get him started again. Put the paddles to him and get him started. Oh, there you go. Huh. That would really help the social security. You're right, it would. Yeah. I haven't seen Mason in a long time. Did they? I think the only job that Moore is going to get, and I don't think he can even get a coaching job at a school. I think about the only job he's going to be able to get for a long time is serving French fries at McDonald's or something like that. Mason just can't. Well, that's cool. About your Victrola? Can I have that final record? I miss Mason. No, that's Frankenstein. Huh. That's Frankenstein. Frankenstein. Well, weren't you supposed to mail him a bunch of records? I know. Well, I think that Jerry Sandusky, he's teaching, prison football. The longest yard. I can't remember the coach's name that used to coach Penn State, but that was probably the end for him right there. Because he probably does have some mental issues. Because right after that happened, he was gone too. What the hell was his name? Joe Paterno. I don't know. Yeah. Joe Pa didn't ring a bell. I had to look it up. Joe Paterno. Yeah. I always liked him. I always thought he was a good coach. But he was damn near 80 years old or something like that when this happened. And, they do. But I always felt sorry for those kids that year. For the next, 3 or 4 years. They were knocked out of playoff games and everything. So. Bobby Frankel. Well, what was the team that was denied a playoff game because they lost to Miami? I'm trying to remember that one too, but they had a better record than Alabama. Alabama was 9-3. This team was 10-2, and they didn't even get a bowl game. I think that's bullshit. Notre Dame. Sorry, Notre Dame. And then Notre Dame said we're not playing any of your games. So, yeah, I don't blame them. The Fighting Irish. I think I need to start taking some of that memory enhancement or something. The cereal bowl. I can't remember shit anymore. Excuse my language. Thinking I'm getting mad cow disease. I remember Jerry. I remember Sandusky because of Cedar Point. Cedar Point's in Sandusky. So I've cross-referenced Sandusky with Cedar Point and come up with Jerry Sandusky, Penn State. He's not allowed at Cedar Point either. Well, that depends. You're right, it's all rigged. Out of a bunch of BFers. They all like patting somebody on the hiney? Yeah. Um, well, if you want to do football schedules, Notre Dame beat Indiana last year. What? Yeah. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. I got the wrong year typed in. Yeah. They played Miami and lost. They played Texas A&M and lost. They played Purdue and won, Arkansas and won, Boise State and won, New York, North Carolina State and won. USC they won. Boston College, that's a kid school. Navy they won. Pittsburgh they won. Syracuse they won. And Stanford. I don't think they had that easy of a schedule. Might be wrong. All right. But you still got to come up with the fact that Alabama lost 3 games. But they won against Georgia. Okay. Then they lost against Georgia. And that was the only reason why they're letting them in, is because they won against Georgia the first time. I just think the fix is in for Alabama. It don't matter. They could lose. They could win 3 games and lose 9, and they're still going to get a bowl game because they had a tougher schedule. I think the commission sucks, actually. Boise State years ago had 56 or 58 games win streak and never got a bowl game. Well, because their schedule wasn't as tough. Okay, but they still had to beat another team. And some of these teams that they beat some of the other teams, you know, in the higher conferences. So it may not have been a tougher schedule, but their record was impressive. It's still not fair. You're right. And you know what's going on with a lot of these football teams and college teams and stuff now? They're not given medical reports until the game starts for the betting. If they give out the medical reports, like this guy's not playing and that guy's not playing and this guy's iffy and he's got a hamstring. If they did that, the betting world would go nuts. They would have a heyday betting. And that's why they're not giving out medical reports anymore until the game starts. They did. They all started at 0. All right. Say that. All right. So they don't have a tough schedule. Well, why can't we have more bowl games then? Instead of the Citrus Bowl and the Rose Bowl and all them other big bowl games. Cutoffs coming faster, right? That's right, they are, Amish. Somebody did get cheated. Notre Dame. Well, what I'm getting at is, like for these smaller colleges and stuff, have bowl games for them too. Don't necessarily have to be televised, but let them have their own little bowl game and their little division championship or whatever, and let them have their own national championship divisions, triple L or whatever. So I think that would be great. Yeah, almost a cup. Yeah, let them have a cup game. But let them have their own national title too, of schools their own size. I think that would be the best thing. You remember when Maryland, or no, what the hell was it? Appalachia State, about 15 years ago or so, beat University of Michigan They beat the University of Michigan, Appalachia State, very first game. People couldn't believe that. Then, I don't know, like 2 or 3 games later, University of Michigan went to Toledo to play the Rockets and lost there too. Yeah, everybody gets a participation trophy. There you go. More money. I have to powder real quick. I'm about ready to. Welcome back. Well, thank you. So tomorrow's Friday. I don't know what the time. It's 25 degrees out right now. Having a heat wave. Don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I should actually go outside to the garage and start. I have 3 Razor scooters and a Razor go-kart. I should do a video of the go-kart. Me and Kathy and I and Kyler, we went up to Ferndale, Michigan. Yeah, either Ferndale or Fenton, hell, I can't remember. We went up there because I bought a Razor go-kart for Kyler. Now, these things are $425 to $600 new, depends on where you buy them at. This guy had one, had a video of it running, showed his kid in it. His kid is 10 years old and is just way too big for it. He said, I want to sell it. I only want $25 for it. So I contacted him. I said, $25 is all you want, right? Yep. I said, I'll take it. I said, I can pick it up tomorrow if that's okay with you, because I live way down here. And I have to drive way up there. He said, that's fine. So I told him I would meet him around 1 o'clock or so on the next day. So Kathy and I, we got in the car, put the car seat in there because we had to pick up Kyler because he wanted to go. Anyways, we picked up this little Razor go-kart. It's actually called a Razor Dune Buggy or something like that. It's got 2 12-volt batteries in it, 9 amps. You taking off tomorrow? Yeah. I'm taking tomorrow off too. Anyways, he loves it. So we got it home. He drove it around the yard. His mom and dad come. They didn't know we were going to get it. And they looked at that, man. They said, wow, that is nice. I said, it is nice for $25. I should have bought that kerosene cook stove. I should have. Then I would have had to figure out how to get it home from there. But that was a nice looking cook stove. But I bought that for $25. I bought 3 of the Razors. 2 of them I give $50 a piece for, and I had to put batteries in one of them. And the other one had new batteries. And then the third one I bought, I give $25 for because it had a seat on it. And the reason why I bought it is for the seat, because the 2 Razors I bought before, one had a seat and one didn't. And the granddaughter was Gretchen was wanting a seat on hers. So I bought it for the seat. But I kept looking, and the seats were like $125 for them. And people that had razors that had seats, they were wanting $65, $75 for them. And this person only wanted $20 for it. And they said it worked. They just couldn't find a charger. So I went and picked it up for $20. I had my sister-in-law pick it up in Monroe. And then we went, and because she was driving right by the place, so we had her pick it up. And then we went that night and picked it up from her, and I paid her. Brought it home, put it on a charger, and it charged the batteries up and worked. I took the seat off, put the seat on Gretchen's scooter for her. And now I have 3 of them razors, and I don't want them out in the garage all winter freezing. So I got to get them downstairs in the basement. So I'm thinking about actually going downstairs and moving one of the shelves in the food pantry down there, the one that's got the door on it, and putting them in there for the winter. That way they'll stay semi-decent, semi-warm. It doesn't get below 50 degrees in there during the winter, so they'll be okay. So I got to get that done this weekend. I'm going to have to buy some of that. I wonder what the stock's going to start out at. $25,000 a share. That'd be some interesting stock to own. I have that big freezer out there in the garage and the ice maker that I bought for the hot dog cart. Means we're out of business now. I might as well just get rid of the ice maker and that big freezer. The big freezer can probably be fixed, but I'm not going to put any more money into it, I guess. And that'll give me a bunch of room in the garage. A lot of room, because that ice chest takes out, or ice maker takes up like 5 foot of room. Well, I'm not going to scrap it, but I'll give it to somebody who will scrap it. I found out a long time ago, you can take in $50 worth of scrap, but if you puncture a $175 tire, it isn't worth it. So, yeah. Let somebody else go and ruin their tires. Oh. Let it accumulate. That's right. Wait for the scrap prices to get up there, and then turn it all in. I remember a few years ago they were driving cars into the scrapyard to sell them. Made more money that way than anything else. They'd drive them in, cut the catalytic converter off before they got in there, sell them the car, then sell them the catalytic converter. And I can't tell you how many times I seen them throw a car in the shredder, and then all of a sudden see an explosion come out of that shredder where the gas tank exploded. Boom! Big old flame coming out of there. Shake the whole place. They had one blow up one time. It was so bad that it actually shut down the shredder for like 2 weeks. They had to go in and rebuild part of it. It screwed that damn thing up really bad. And you wouldn't think it would, being that where it exploded at is where the shredders are. And those things can tear apart a cast iron block. You know, like nobody's business. But yet they can't take an explosion like that. Yeah. Right. Well, over here at the Toledo shredder, they just grab the whole car and they throw it on a conveyor, and it goes up about 60 feet in the air and goes into a shredding machine. That shredder just takes everything apart. And then all these pieces of steel and everything else go onto different conveyor belts. The copper goes someplace, the aluminum goes on another belt. It all gets separated by, I don't know how it does it, but it does. Magnets take the metal out of, the conveyor belts and drops it off onto another one and stuff like that. The aluminum goes, then the molding and stuff drops into another one, because there's a business for that, a need for that molding, the chrome plated molding and stuff like that. Then all the fluff, which is the car cushions and the headliner and dash pads and stuff like that, and carpet, all that fluff gets ground up in the shredder, and that gets dumped into a different area. And then that stuff gets hauled to a landfill, and they use it for cover. People don't realize it, that stuff is heavy. It doesn't take long to get, it doesn't take much to get 50 tons in a trailer. We used to haul cloth from Toledo shredding, and then we'd haul garbage from the rail yard. They'd have excavators on tracks, or not on tracks, but on rails, I guess you want to call it, extensions that were wider than the train. And they would reach up with a bucket, and they'd pull themselves up a ramp and get on top of one car. And that's how they'd stay up there. They'd stay on one car, period, until they had to come down for maintenance. And then they would, come down the ramp. But they would stay on this car, and then they'd bring in, a whole train, And they hook up to that car, and then they would just walk the crane down every car and empty it with an excavator. And the other rail yard we had, they had stilts that the excavator was on. And it had tracks. And each one of those tracks was on the other side of the railroad cars. And this guy was 25 feet up in the air. He'd climb up there, get into the cab, and start running the excavator. And we would haul, that garbage. They would get it from Canada and New York and all over. And we'd haul that to the landfills. You have a great night there too, Cornbread. Take care. Take care and God bless. You too, Tenny, if you're still here. But it was really something to watch. And then we were all done working for that company because they shut down. And they were moving equipment, and they grabbed a 500-gallon tank, plastic tank, and he was moving it. Well, it was full of hydraulic fluid. And he punctured a hole in it, and it started leaking all over the place. I mean, a massive hole, probably like a 2.5-foot hole. And this thing is leaking hydraulic fluid all over the place. Well, he digs a hole with the excavator and buries it. And he gets out of the excavator and says to me, I'm sitting there watching, so is my boss. He said, well, they'll never see that there. Well, he buried it within, like 30 feet of a creek. So I was getting loaded. I got loaded. I drove out of there. I called the EPA and told them exactly what he did and where it was at. It's pretty cool to watch him do that. Well, I'm glad you're still here, Kenny. But anyways, I come back from my second load, and the EPA was there. And the guy that buried that come up to me and said, USOB, you called the EPA on me. I said, well, yes, I did. And you deserve whatever you get. He said, well, get out of here because we don't need you here no more. I said, that's fine with me. And I don't know what it cost him, but I'm sure it was in the, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to get that cleaned up. They deserved it. I bet he worked faster. Yeah, he did. Yeah. All right, everybody, it's time for me to get out of here. Y'all have a great day. God bless. Take care. Prayers and peace. And I will see you Sunday night, Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. Have a blessed night, everybody, and a great weekend. Take care.